Have you tried using the March Madness bracket for genealogy? It's a great way to map out patterns and events in your family tree up to 7 generations back. And today I'm sharing some of my family brackets so you can see how this layout works for more than just college basketball. Let's start by going over how the bracket is structured. This is a 7 generation color coded descendant chart that can include up to 127 members of a family tree. Each square represents a person in the family, and it begins with you or your person of interest at the center of the diagram. To the right and the left are the parents, and then above and below the parents are the grandparents. The next column over will be the great grandparents, and so on, until you reach the final outer columns on either side of the bracket, representing 64 of the great 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 grandparents. The focus of this bracket that we're looking at right now is DNA inheritance, and I color coded it to reflect the rough percentages that we inherit from each of our ancestors. So, the cool thing about this particular bracket is that you can see how every ancestor up to 7 generations back could have contributed roughly 1% or more of their DNA to you. You could even personalize this DNA bracket so that the colors align instead with the birthplaces of your ancestors, giving you a more clear picture of your heritage. And then, of course, down the middle, I have those more specific percentages, but of course, they are rough estimates, keep in mind. So, moving on to our next origins bracket that I created, the continent of origin. I created this macro bracket with myself at the center, meaning that the bracket spans from present day to the late 1700s when some of my fourth great grandparents were born. Now, because my ancestors 7 generations back were either North American or European descent, this bracket only has 2 colors. Not a problem, of course, but as you continue to drill down on the location, the colors start to get more diverse for my chart. Here we have my country of origin bracket, which you saw a peek of earlier. And then from that, I went ahead and narrowed it down even further to region of origin. I used region as an umbrella term to cover these more specific designations that you're seeing here within the countries, because many countries have different geographical hierarchies. So we have states in the United States, counties down here in England, states in Germany, provinces in Sweden, a voivodeship over in Poland, and of course, Sicily is a region of Italy. So you get the picture. That's just for my chart here in particular. This is also the first bracket where we're starting to see the locations that I have not been able to drill down on any further. And I marked those with these question marks and the color yellow. Once we get to the town of origin bracket, which is ultimately the holy grail when you're researching the life of an ancestor, you'll see I have a lot more question marks for this bracket, unfortunately. But drilling all the way down to a town of origin this far back can be tricky work, and in some cases, the records simply don't exist. For some of these question marks, I've hit a brick wall, or for whatever reason, my research has stopped. There are also instances where I was able to narrow down the location a little further to a county, for example, within a state, but I wasn't able to take it that step further and narrow it down to the town within the county. So I marked those cases with the brown color that you see. Identifying the town of origin for an ancestor is an important step in the research process, and it's something that I do plan to cover in another video. But for now, I just wanted to share this fun way to map out your family's timeline. I love that this bracket layout can be tailored to your research interests, and you can get as creative with it as you want to. So I've just shown you brackets that are centered around places of origin, but you can just as easily create them to reflect places of marriage or death. You could track the number of children each ancestor had, maybe how old they lived to be, or any other fact or pattern that you want to trace or identify in your family tree. Mapping out our ancestors' origins and their migration patterns, for example, can have multiple research benefits, including giving you a better picture of family networks and communities while revealing possible motivations for migration as you consider the social and the historical environment of the time. Plus, if you are a visual person like myself, it's fun to look at. So, now that you have seen what a great tool these brackets can be for visualizing your family's timeline across 7 generations, I hope that you feel inspired in some way to explore and document your family history today. Let me know how else you might use this bracket format for your family history. And if you do end up creating something, let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching and for stopping by Family's Legacy channel today.